Hello and welcome to Silverstone, the Bridge Circuit. This is my Lamborghini Essenza SCV12. It's fully upgraded. This race is in the exclusive series. Someone just recently asked me to run the endurance race in this car, and that's pretty vague. A lot of people forget that there's a lot of different races in this game, so I don't know which race he actually meant, but this is the one I saw in the exclusive series. That's pretty well the only races worth running for the most part. Those are the best paying endless endurance races. If you're not familiar with some of what I'm talking about, you just hang on, we'll get there. In the old series, like old school series, original series, there's still some really good paying endurance races there sometimes. But for the most part, like any series that's come out in like the last 8-9 years, the best paying races are going to be exclusive series. Okay, so to do an endless endurance race, you're going to have to take some off-track cuts. Now at this track, I probably only have to take this one, but we're going to explore something interesting today. Now this is about earning currency, not about getting first place. I could easily go 50 plus kilometers at this track without doing any cutting whatsoever. Now that is not intentional. Neither is that. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. This coming up is. And this is one of the biggest cuts in the game, which can create some interesting problems when you're doing endless endurance racing. Okay, so why do I call it endless endurance racing? Because at a certain point, you can go as long as you want to. It's your choice. So you noticed me hiring the manager and the agent at the beginning. It's also 170% bonus R day for me still. It's late in the day and I hadn't run it yet. So that really adds up. That turns into 5.4 times earnings. So the longer the race is, the more you're getting paid, right? Like the longest race I can do in this car is probably going to be like 6 or 7 laps. You know, if you've got the 2015 or 2014 LMP1 cars, you could do the 10-lap Le Mans races. But again, that's just 10 laps. At 13.63 kilometers, that's 136 kilometers, you know, in a little bit that you could run. Well, what if you want to go further than that? Well, this is where these kind of races come in. So, I've got to pass 42 cars as fast as possible. Once you pass 42 cars, you're going to see that there's just a whole bunch of bots in front of me and they just keep going on seemingly forever, but maybe not. And that's one thing we're going to be exploring today. I'm going to show you the point of bot creation. I'm actually going to take you to the exact place where bots are born. And we'll explore that a little bit. It's interesting to reach the spawning point of bots and kind of glitching the game out a little bit. So, interesting thing about the 42 car theory. I didn't discover it. It was told to me. I knew about endless endurance racing, but not about how it worked. It's not about a distance on the track. It's not about going this far and then you hit it. Because if you're watching this video, you've done endurance races where you went 20, 30, maybe even 40 kilometers. Well, like I said, there's some races I can go over 80 kilometers without ever taking an off-track cut. But you're not going to get further than that. And I'm going way beyond that. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. So yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to pass a bunch of cars really fast. You can't do this at every single track, but at quite a few tracks you can. You can even do it at Melbourne in some cars with no off-track cutting, like in the Ferrari F14, the Brabham. There's a Nissan Silvia you can do it in. There's some tracks where you don't have to take off-track cuts. Okay, so very soon now, because I've been passing so many cars off track, like that cut just after the bridge, that's the biggest cut in the game. You can pass about 9 cars off track there. Now, going back to, I forget the exact year, there used to be a glitch in the game where if you passed more than 4 cars, the game would crash 5 seconds after that. And that is because the game would get confused and thought you were one of the disappearing cars. It takes 5 seconds for a car to disappear after you pass it, and it just suddenly stopped happening one day. I could never find out if they intentionally fixed it or not. They're very coy when it comes to endless endurance racing. I think they did it on purpose. I think it's an intentional, like a hidden Easter egg. I think it's there on purpose. And 2 reasons for that, well, maybe 3 or 4, but one of the reasons, oh look, you can clearly see a difference in the amount of bots that are now on track. I've now reached that endless point where they're just going to keep being in front of me. And like I'm going to fall a bit behind now because they're faster than a fully upgraded car, but they don't corner as good as we do. So you really got to maximize your corners. Don't do that. Don't make mistakes a lot. You can make a few, but just watch this even through this section here, through Maggots, Beckett's Complex, Chapel Curve. If you're fast enough here, you can catch up to them. But definitely, as I get to Vale, the chicane at Vale there, I'll be catching up to them. Okay, so some of the reasons why I think that they did this on purpose. One, when it stopped working, they fixed it. I helped them to fix it. We're going to warp ahead here actually a bit. And two, they put my videos showing how to do this right in the game. You can still go see them. So if they didn't want this to happen, they would not be promoting my videos that show you how to do it. And maybe there's other reasons. I can't think of them right now. Anyways, never mind. So coming up here, I start to have some trouble. Like, that's not good. Let's check the windshield. Okay, we got several cracks there, which is not good. Taking the massive cut here. And sometimes you don't really know that, there's a bot disappearing. And that's maximum damage, even more cracks. So I just lost some top speed, acceleration, grip, and brakes. But this is a really good car, so that's not going to hurt me too much. It's going to affect my earnings. My earnings per minute definitely went down. Oh well. When you do a race that's over 150 kilometers, it's really hard to keep it clean. I mean, I could have done better than that, but whatever. We're just going to keep this going. We're going to warp ahead more because I want to show you what I talked about there. Reaching the spawning point of bot creation. We're going to explore some different aspects of this. Some of it's really interesting, actually. So here, I just wanted you guys to see that even after maximum damage, I'm able to easily catch up and keep this going. Especially with the bots as tightly grouped as they are. Now, you need to keep having pretty fast back-to-back lap times to keep them grouped. Like, look at that nice clean pass with heavy damage. That's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna warp ahead here to quite far ahead. So we are at 94 kilometers, okay? And look at that. There's no one. What's going on? Where's all the cars? Okay, they're not behind me. You can sometimes get in front of the perpetual point, in front of the cars being created. Oh, I think I see them in the distance. Okay, that's very interesting. So we're definitely getting to a glitch point. And people talk about this sometimes, and that's why I say to people, don't necessarily run this track super fast. See, I keep looking behind me. They're not there yet, but they're in the distance here. So when you run bridge circuit, especially in the Aston Martin Valkyrie or Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, it's actually best to skip the mega cut. Or just don't run too fast, because you'll end up in trouble. And you're gonna see what I mean. I'm gonna show you. Okay, this is about to get incredibly interesting. So I've had no bots for pretty well a whole lap, okay? So pay very careful attention here. We're gonna do a freeze frame right here. And I want you to see something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bots. Okay, 9 bots in a group. That appears to be the amount of bots that are created each lap. Now, check this out. He just vanished. Like, what? Okay, let's watch this again. And I want you to pay very careful attention. Poof, he's gone. Okay, let's go back one more time. Don't watch him this time, watch up here. The second he disappeared, a whole bunch of bots appeared up there. Now that's interesting. Okay, we're going ahead another couple of laps. Watch the spawning point. Watch in front of me. Boom, they just went into existence there, okay? We're another few laps ahead. I keep running faster and faster, passing that guy. And the point's getting closer. Okay, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to make it so that I'm like right at the exact point. It's difficult. You got to keep running really fast. And then I start, God's getting closer. I don't want to crash. And so I'm trying to be really, really careful here. Now this gets really interesting as I start to catch up more and more to the spawning point, because they're not very fast. Look how easily I'm passing him. So when they come into existence, they're not moving very fast. So let's just see, could I even get 2 bots? Remember what was happening before? Like, whoa! Okay, I lost him in the corner and suddenly he appeared right there. Okay, I gotta make sure I'm not driving right there or I'm just gonna smash into that guy. I actually had that happen many, many years ago. So, oh no, I shouldn't be here. Okay, whoa, okay, I got him. Remember before? I couldn't catch these guys until I was getting to like Stowe. And here, I mean, I'm catching this guy at Cobb's Corner. There's no way I should be doing that. Okay, now check this out. This gets crazy. I just made a big mistake and I didn't realize it. Where are the bots? What's going on? Where'd they all go? Well, I just made a big mistake. I got in front of the point of creation. So what's interesting is you either have to be behind it or in front of it. It's an exact point on the track. So if you are ahead of the last car being created, all cars get created behind you. Not one of them will be in front of you. So you can't be in the middle of a creation pack. You're either in front of them or behind them. So I was gonna see if I could outrun them and catch up, if I could kind of lap them. I think that's a bad decision. Like that might be possible in the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, maybe the Aston Martin Valkyrie as well. Those are crazy cars. I mean, Aston Martin Valkyrie is a street legal Formula One car that does over 400 kilometers an hour. And the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo is a car that was made with no rules and can't race in any organization, but it's insane. Okay, let's see if I can catch anyone at the big cut. See if anyone's here at all. Nobody is here. Okay, then I've just made a big mistake. I'm gonna cross the start-finish line and then I'm gonna have to back up because I've now got a massive gap on the bots. If you let them pass you and then you overtake them again, it'll reset. It'll keep going. I know because I've done this in the past. I did this at Dubai. I've done this at several other tracks. So I'm going to back up a little bit, try to cause a bit of mayhem. There we go. Okay, now I got to overtake these guys. Oh, nuts. My clock is way too low for this. I'm not likely going to catch them in Maggots and Beckett's Complex, Chapel Curve. Oh, come on. Okay, well, don't do what I did. If you notice that they're behind you, don't wait a whole lap and a half like I just did. Because I was going to go over 200 kilometers today. That's not going to happen. So fame per minute numbers aren't going to be the greatest, but that's okay. I'm hoping I can catch them at Stowe. No. I got to throw this sideways then to make the race end as fast as possible. As soon as your tires stop rotating, race is over. Let's look at profitability. Like I mentioned, I'm getting 5.4 times more R than usual because of 170% bonus R day plus the manager. Now, I did hire the fame agent, so we'll extract that. My fame per minute was 812, so that's pretty good, but there's lots of better races. Please like, please subscribe. I hope you had some fun today seeing the spawning point of bot creation. Bye-bye now.